Welcome back, Tribe. Got a video here from NOLA Girl. It's old, dude. 8 years ago? Was this one about? Oh, 2017. 2017, she had an 8-year-old video. These were getting a ton of views. She got almost 1 million on this one. Says, MGTOW, it's the safest choice. Was she ahead of the ball game?
Very excited right now because I finally got one of those things that you plug onto your windshield where you can film videos and not have to hold your phone. And I just want to apologize for not making a lot of videos lately. Right when I start getting, quite a few subscribers, I slowed down on the videos. Just want to apologize and let you all know I am not going anywhere. And I'm going to start making a consistent amount of videos every week. I've just been extremely busy. But anyway, this video is going to be about men going their own way. That is a movement right now. It's called MGTOW, driving through a construction zone. So men going their own way, and a few people asked me to comment on that. So I'm just going to say I am not surprised that a movement for men going their own way exists now. If I was a man living in society, and again, I need to make this clear, I'm speaking about Western society, because there's too many little smart asses that keep on saying, well, what about women in the Eastern, Middle Eastern women? What about them? I can't speak on women that I don't know personally. I don't live there. I don't know what's going on there. I only know what I see on TV, and that's not always accurate. So I'm not speaking on them. They can speak for themselves. I'm speaking for women over here, Western society, where I live, what I'm familiar with. Back to the video now. It's no surprise that men started going their own way. And again, if I was a man right now in Western society, I would be extremely, extremely afraid to get a woman pregnant. I would be afraid to marry a woman. I would be afraid to commit to a woman in any way, shape, or form. I'd be extremely careful, if I did sleep around, to do it very carefully, not get anybody pregnant on accident. I've seen women destroy men's lives with children, with divorce. I've seen women that...
Why do you think 8 years later, passport bro, you think it sprouted up out of nowhere? Because men still want families. Men still want to be heads of household, but you can't do it with Western women. It's absolute garbage proposition. The government is garbage. The culture is garbage. Society is garbage. Western femininity, if it even fucking exists anymore, garbage. What is there for a man? Dude, when you go overseas and start experiencing what it's like in a traditional culture, a more conservative culture where, the polarity between masculine and feminine is still upheld, I'm telling you, fuck dating in the West. I understand why guys go their own way. There's also a separate part of me that thinks this shit is all part of like the carbon that they want to reduce, right? There's part of me that thinks this shit's a conspiracy theory, like MGTOW and all this stuff that's getting pushed is from the goblins. The greedy money goblins that want to eliminate Western ideals and culture. What better way to do it than, to have men thinking that going their own way is empowering? So I see young guys that talk about this stuff. I always rail against young guys doing this. I think they should play the field. Definitely should plan for a life overseas, at least visiting, seeing what it's like, experiencing, a woman showing appreciation for your masculinity for the first time in your life, not being combative and adversarial in attitude. But part of me, dude, wants to think like, what better way to destroy a society and a nation than have its men and women hate each other, and then have women think, what are good men for? And then have men think, well, I should just go my own way. What a fucking ingenious idea. That's such genius, bro. The PSYOP, we fell for it. If that was really the plan to get us here, and then they push the MGTOW messaging, they push the strong feminine, what do we need a man for, boss babe messaging, and they destroy the family structure. It's a fucking money goblin PSYOP. What else could it fucking be? Because you don't hear this shit going on in any other part of the world but here, the Western country. All of them having the same problems all at once. Isn't it fucking weird?
Go out to a bar, go home with a man that they just met, hardly know, sleep with them unprotected, and then the next day feel guilty about it and try to say that man raped her. I've seen all of these things, okay? And I've seen women be ex-girlfriends and ex-wives make a man's life a living hell. Okay? And I know a lot of women could say, well, what about, have you ever seen men do this to women? I have. I've seen men beat women. I've seen a lot of things that men have done. However, the numbers are so much greater with what I've seen with women do. So, okay, I'm not saying every man out there is got a little halo over his head. That is not true. However, the numbers are just so much higher when I'm speaking about what women are doing. So I have a lot of female acquaintances. I have had a lot of female friends in the past, and I've known them very personally. I've known what, goes on in their lives. And even though they put on this facade that they're good women and they do the, the right thing, and they don't sleep around and they don't cheat and they don't do this, I'm going to be honest with you. Most of the women, the majority of the women that I've known as acquaintances and, so forth, have cheated, do cheat, and do seek the attention of other males. And
trash
that's
culture.
just, being honest.
Garbage.
And here comes a fire truck. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I know that was loud. But yeah, so that's why I speak about this stuff so much. And in my opinion, I don't believe.
I seen it being the dude on the other side. I seen it when I was a complete fuckboy in college, smashing, pumping, dumping, didn't give a went to clubs every day of the week like it was my life, kickbacks, whatever the fuck, Las Vegas, all that stuff. I seen what that's like. I optimized my life to be that guy that gets laid. That was like my fucking only objective in college. Wasted so many, could have been a multimillionaire 10 times over. Wasted my life perfecting getting pussy. That's why I tell guys like, this like Playboy lifestyle is fucking useless. Okay, maybe I've monetized it into a, Manosphere channel or whatever. I guess that experience maybe helped me out later in life. And I saw the world, the red pill. I saw the world for what it really was through the actions of women, how fucking heartless they could be. Ice cold when they pick up the phone and husbands or boyfriends call and pretend they're at their girlfriend's house and just got their backs blown in the middle of getting their backs blown out, messing with you literally in between sentences, just like gobbling up your pipe. Shit, like I've seen it all, bro. I see it's insanity. Still, I know for the guys that have been here, tell you the story. Married woman hit her with a stupid line. Oh, one dick for the rest of your life. Boom, panties drop. Panties drop. It was a bachelorette party. Met her at the club, and the bachelorettes, all her fucking like, but not the best man, whatever. The best women. I can't even remember what the fuck they're called. Gives a shit. All were egging her on. Maids of honor. The maids of honor were egging her on to cheat at her bachelorette party, and she cheated. And then I had other stories, bro, where met a chick would go, after going out for so long, you start to learn some things like, by the time last call, people are mostly already fucked up, drunk, loose, having fun and shit like that, making plans for after the club. Okay, perfect time to go to the club if you're not a big drinker like I was. And last call, met some chicks. They were absolutely faded, got along. Lights come on. They invite me to a house party. Guess what? Already getting domed up in the car on the way to the house party. Guess what happens after that? The dude who answers the door is her boyfriend. Kissed him on the lips when she swallowed a load literally minutes before. Fucking madness, bro. Madness, the shit you see when you are that other guy. And especially when you're in the degenerate culture of like, obviously, hookup culture. Just society in general, what the West is about. Iceman, bro. I used to sit with my homie, my best friend, my brother. He had a room across the hallway. We were at his house, and we would talk about the shit that we would experience after going out at night. The shit that we would see would make your fucking heart turn to ice. You can never trust them again. The thing we were saying to you, you cannot trust one of them because you're seeped into this degenerate culture that rewards this kind of behavior. Until you see it, you don't understand what they're capable of. No amount of videos talking shit and no amount of degenerate behavior you see online will ever come close to you really experiencing the depth of what they're capable of. The shit you see online doesn't even begin to scratch the surface. Grade A Hollywood actresses, Golden Globe, Oscar-worthy performances. You have no fucking heartless. That how they can turn on, crying and start crying in front of you, just like, with a flick of a switch. They can also turn off their feelings for you at the flick of a fucking switch. It's crazy, crazy what they're capable of. I don't fault men, especially when you're inexperienced, especially when you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And they get, thrown into this machine and chewed back out and left with nothing. Your wallet emptied, your spine fucking dissolved, and she walked all over you and you're a husk of a man. I totally get it. I understand because I've seen what it was like on the other side. I also got cheated on. I also was a beta simp in a relationship. And that's how my red pill awakening started. I did everything right. I did it the Disney way. I was there for my partner. I tried to be Mr. Fix-It, Captain Save-A-Ho. You think like I was born into this quote, like fucking, the fuck boy mentality? No, dude. I arrived there after having my heart broken by a chick that I thought I was going to end up marrying and start a beautiful family together and do it the way my parents did, super traditional. And she ended up being a toxic fucking mess of a person that was dealing with too many issues and would never heal herself, let alone me playing Mr. Fix-It and shit. And then my journey began. And then my heart turned off. And then I left a wake of bodies behind me, perpetuating the cycle further. There's some good women along the way that I met, a bunch degenerate. We were using each other. That's fine. But there are good ones there in and in between. And my brain, I was shut off. I was emotionally unavailable. Women love hearing that shit. and I seen it, and I see the damage it does, both for men and for women. But I understand why movements like this prop up, and guys just feel like an overwhelming sense of fucking outgunned, bro. I can't play this. I stand no chance. And this was 8 years ago. She was saying this shit. The game has only gotten worse. I know guys that are absolutely crushing. I got friends that are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", shredded abs, jujitsu. They can fight, shoot fucking guns, do crazy shit. Lifestyle's great. Others earning millions of fucking dollars, successful businesses, travel the world. Instagram looks like a dream. The matches they get and the shit I see in the DMs with the guys, garbage, hoes, straight streetwalkers, hookers would blush. And these are normal women just giving out kitty like it's fucking lollipops, bro, for free. Here, have one on the way out. Fucking insane. This is why I say I think besides the needle in the haystack, there are genuine women in the United States. It's very rare though. Mostly they come from first generation immigrants. So that's extremely rare in and of itself. Apart from that, you have to go overseas. It's your only hope, period. If somehow I wasn't in this relationship, I'd give it up. I'd tell you right now. If I didn't have my own successful relationship, I would give this shit. This one somehow, just so like, I know, alternate fucking timeline. This shit ends. I'm fucking done, bro. I'm pumping and dumping because if it failed overseas, it would fail anywhere. I would absolutely go on a fucking tear because if I had to go live back in the West, I know what's awaiting me is dumpster quality level females. And I would never commit to any of that. So if you want to do the pump and dump shit, fine. With zero or very little commitment, totally. I understand. Why would you give somebody a second of your commitment, time, and energy that says you are useless because you're a man, that masculinity is toxic, that thinks she's better than you in every way possible, that you're no good for nothing, and all the feminist talking points, and does nothing for you, is a drain, is a leech. The relationship is a one-way street where you give and she takes. I totally get using them. I get it.
Men and women are equal. I don't think that we were not biologically designed to be equal. In nature, every other male and female is not equal. The male has his duties, the hunter, the gatherer, the protector, and the female has her duties to typically, always to give birth, to protect the young, nurture the young, breastfeed the young, raise the young. And I know we're civilized, but I still think that our duties are fairly the same as it was supposed to be in nature. And such as I believe that women were made to make babies. Women were designed to give birth, and we're supposed to be the nurturer. We're supposed to be more emotional naturally. And a man is typically more stronger, tougher.
I just know there's a baby back here. Her little baby back.
And that's just how I see things. I think we have our own roles, and we need to stop trying to, as women, I think we need to stop trying to be something we're not. And I think that is going to ruin our society. Not only ruin it, but it's going to cause our species to die out. It really bothers me when I hear women say, we're not made to make babies. How sexist. But that's what we do. We're here to give birth. We're here to continue our species and, do it in a way that our species is going to be stronger the next generation prior to the one before. And that's just the way it is. It's just really sad that women just can't accept their role. It's like they're lazy. They don't want to. How dare you ask them to cook and clean for their family? How dare you ask them, to not go open up their legs to a stranger? How dare you? Those women that are out fighting for equality, they're not fighting for equality. They have equality. They're out there fighting in the street because typically they want to have the right to kill their own baby because they want to sleep around.
Damn.
They want to go and be a whore and sleep around and do it as many times as they want. And they want to be able to kill the baby that is a product of them sleeping around every single time they do it. And if you...
It's called internalized misogyny.
...threaten to take that away from them, they go crazy. They freak out. Okay? Because right now, with the Trump administration, they're against abortion. I'm so grateful for that. I'm against abortion. I think it's disgusting. You want to sleep around women? You want to be whores? Go have your uterus taken out. Okay? Go take you some birth control or go have your uterus taken out. There is no reason to kill an innocent baby that has not done you a thing. Okay? We need to address the responsibility aspect. Now, that's what those women are out there fighting for. They want to be lazy, they don't want to cook and clean, and they want to be whores. And that's just the bottom line. And I do not blame men for going their own way. In fact, if I was a man, I'd be joining y'all in this movement. So I don't blame y'all one bit. So that's going to be it for the video. See you back on my next.
Damn, base. Oh, man. Too much realness. I agree with everything you said, but abortion. Batman and Robin, of course, bro. His name's Batman and Robin. Okay, male feminist. That fat stone says there's a happy man somewhere. I didn't even notice it. There it is. There it is. Oh, you can't see it. It's off to the right here. Yeah, of course. They're going to call her a pick me. She's already been chosen and has a baby on board. That's called W's. Winning. Anywho, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Be vigilant.